Hi YouTube, welcome to another video. Today I want to sit down and talk about multi-boxing in EVE Online. Is it worth it? If so, why? What are the pros and cons? I just want to sit down and share my opinion on this topic. It's a hot topic that is always being discussed in the EVE community, and I just want to sit down and talk about it and talk and share with you how I am multi-boxing in EVE Online and my overall opinion about multi-boxing. I would also like to hear your opinion about multi-boxing. I'm pretty sure that most of the people that are going to be watching this video are going to be multi-boxing and have at least 2 accounts. Let us know in the comments below, how are you multi-boxing? Are you against it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Just share your opinion. Let's see what the community has to say about it. But in this video, I'm going to be sharing my opinion and my point of view on multi-boxing. As you can see right now, I'm actually doing this in this footage. And I just want to sit down and talk about it. Long story short, I would say that multi-boxing, unfortunately, and I'm saying unfortunately, if you want to be efficient in EVE Online and if you want to get the most out of your time that you're investing into the game, you have to multi-box. Unfortunately, that's the situation. And when I say you have to multi-box, it's just like, imagine if you don't. Like, let me give you the simplest example over here, right? Right now we are gas huffing here with a corp mate. It's just the 2 of us, but we have about like 6 characters involved. And right now, as you can see, if I click through most of my characters over here, and I'll be talking about, some statistics and how things add up over time. If we talk about just general, I've been gas huffing here for the past maybe 1 hour, and each character made roughly 150 million ISK. Well, if I would have been doing this only with 1 character, obviously this would have been just 150 million ISK for an hour spent. But now, since I'm doing this with 3 characters, I could consider this 450 million hours invested for this 1 hour that I have been gas huffing in wormhole space. When we talk about multi-boxing, it just multiplies everything that you do if we're talking about industry related. PvE wise, sometimes PvE wise, it is nice to multi-box, to do a box, or to have like 3 accounts if you're running like 1 or 2 Ishtars or drone boats, or you're like riding in 2 different ships. I mean, in that sense, yes, you can definitely speed up the money making. You can definitely multi-box like PvE wise, like it's fun. I actually like flying like multiple Ishtars and like flying multiple characters. Here I'm flying 1 Ishtar and 1 Cerberus just for fun, doing C3 combat sites. I mean, since I already have the accounts and I'm paying for them, I mean, why not utilize them in its full potential, right? Is it necessary to do that? Absolutely no. Is it more efficient? Yes. But is it necessary? I don't think so, right? Like, I mean, you can definitely multi-box and do that. But honestly, here I just have particularly more fun because I'm doing combat sites with a corp mate, and we're just having a good time, sitting, talking about it, and he brought 2 Ishtars, I brought 1 Ishtar and a Cerberus. I mean, like, we're having fun. Could we just both of us use only 1 character and 1 ship? Absolutely. We just wanted to bring in a little bit more ships and have a little bit more firepower on the grid, and that's why, we're doing that. For ratting purposes, you won't see that, it's not very common for people to use a lot of accounts, right? It is more common to see 1 guy with 10 mining barges to see 1 guy with 10 marauders. You can definitely see 10 marauders and 15 marauders and go to Pochven and you'll see these, no problem. But my point is, this is a thing that is a little bit more common for industry related activities because it's a no-brainer. It's just a no-brainer that, you're multiplying the amount of money you're making by just having 1 additional account, just semi-AFK, sitting there and either mining rocks or just gas scooping or whatever you're doing. I personally use my other accounts in my, I'm not very industry heavy. when I'm playing, I occasionally would do some gas huffing or occasionally would do some mining. Um, the majority of the times, the way I make my ISK is I am riding in a Marauder in, C4s and just doing wormhole stuff, or I will do abyssals. I like more PV content than just sitting here and chilling and gas huffing. But I do occasionally do also, you know, do that type of thing. You can see if I show you my graph over here, and I will show you even I actually was curious to see for the past 1 month since, the 20th of April. Now today is the 20th of May for me. So for the past 1 month, how many times I went out there in the industry with these characters, and how much money I actually made separately with each all of these accounts. And you can also actually see over here that if I filter in my mining ledger by price and just by activity, you will see that there's a lot of gaps. And there has been probably even like a week or so that I haven't even undocked these characters in mining barges. So there have been gaps, and I actually calculated and I counted the days that I had any type of activity, and I extracted everything here in a Google sheet for 3 of my characters. I do actually have a couple more, but just for these 3, I did like extract all the stuff that I've collected, the ore, the gas. What basically you can copy the mining ledger that is in game to your clipboard, and you can paste it in any Google sheet or whatever you're using. And I just added up all the numbers, and I also counted the days that I actually had any activity. You have to understand that in most days when I do any type of PvE activity like this, I mean industry related activity like this, it wouldn't be more than 1 or 2 hours. I never sit down for like extremely long sessions of industry. I would do that for an hour or two, and then usually I get bored and I just stop doing it. My point here is with that Google Sheet and with everything, just, you can see the days of activity that I have been able to be active. And this is the amount of ISK that I made per character. This is estimated prices, what you get like estimated prices in the mining ledger. This is not the end price, obviously. And in most cases, I don't even sell stuff. I, manufacture. So the end price and the investment is completely different. But let's say if I were to get the money that is estimated in the mining ledger, I would get this for these amount of days that I invested using these characters. And, here we have 15 days and I made almost 3 billion, almost 1 billion over here for 13 days, and 16 days, like 1.5 billion. You could actually even count these as like hours almost, because like I said, I would never do that more than 1 or 2 hours. So if it would have been only one account, that would be only 1 billion ISK. Now we're, 4 billion ISK. Money just keeps adding up when we're talking industry related. And this is not me considering PI, right? PI is a completely different thing as well. Like if you set up actually PI on all of your accounts, and if you have like a decent setup of planets and you're actually doing something, and on each account you would have like multiple characters, then even this adds up a lot of money passively. Sometimes I use accounts for scouting. Now, as you can see, I have 5 open accounts. One of them is boosting. One of them is just watching a wormhole right now just for safety reasons. Multiboxing is not always just industry related things, right? So it would be also sometimes just scouting. And honestly, all these accounts that I have open right now, in most cases, I would have each one of these characters watch a wormhole, for instance, and I would rat in my main character in the Marauder. Most cases I would do that. But again, if we're talking like industry related things, I think like it's completely worth it investing into additional characters. having like an additional software like Evo Preview. By the way, for those of you who are wondering what is this and you've never seen it before, this is Evo Preview. It's like a software that you can add additional, so you can, you know, have your game windows over here. You don't have to have a multi-monitor setup to be able to multi-box. Previously, back in the days, people would think, oh, I don't have a second monitor or third monitor or like 7 monitors. You don't have to. Evo Preview, perfect. It runs amazing. All right, when we talk about PvP, like I mentioned a little bit earlier I'm not good at multi-boxing PvP because like I get too excited about the PvP fight and I start paying attention to too many things and I get lost and I make really stupid mistakes, which I would never do if I would just fly one ship. But since we are a small corp, a small gang, and I have the ships ready, I figured, okay, let's throw more ships at this. So we have more firepower. We have a bubbler. I brought in a Vedmak, a Sacrilege, and a bubbler. So that's from my side, and my corp mate was in a Loki. So over here there was like 3 and 4 retrievers that were gassing in the other side of the wormhole. The Loki was over there. The corp mate who put out the combat probes to scare them off. We knew that they were living in this wormhole, so they would come back to this one. So we surprised, bubbled the other side, and when they jumped in, we tried to pop them, and that's what we did. We killed a couple of retrievers. No big deal, But my point is, why I want to show you this is retriever. I'm extremely inefficient with doing multiple things because I start to panic. I already shoot one. Do I have point on everybody? I don't know. I don't pay attention to what is going on. Now I'm switching to the Vedmak. The Vedmak needs to, also do something. It's like, it's inefficient and I hate it. So I really rarely do this where I bring more than 2 characters to a PvP fight. That was actually the first time in a couple months where I did that. So PvP wise, more than 2 characters, my personal opinion, not worth it. I mean, it is worth it if you can do it, but it's definitely not something that I would enjoy doing. But yeah, as you can see, when we talk about, industry-wise, it's a no-brainer. You don't have to think about anything and just warp your entire fleet over there, and you start just gassing or mining whatever you're doing, or you just use one character for just watching and scouting. Overall, my personal take is multi-boxing is unfortunately a thing in EVE Online. I wish it was not. Honestly, I wish it was not. It would be like the game would be so much more enjoyable if it would not have been a multi-boxing game. But I think like people just are doing it for the same reason I mentioned. Like people just want to multiply the money that they're making. That's it. Or they would like to multiply the power that they have in terms of firepower and stuff like this. Like if you're a new player, like I just want to wrap up and I want to see in the comments what you guys think about multi-boxing, right? If you're a new player and if you want to start multi-boxing, you can definitely do that, right? But don't feel like you are forced to do it. I actually, when I came back to the game, I actually plexed one of my accounts. Later on, I added the second account as a scout, and then like just a month later or 2 months later, I actually started and added like 1 more account to the whole situation. So I kept, once I start making more money in game, I kept on adding accounts. And I know people have like 20, 30 accounts. Some people go to insane amount of numbers, which I definitely don't recommend, right? So do whatever you feel like is best for you, but don't forget that in the end of the day, this is a game that you're supposed to enjoy. This is not a second job. Sometimes EVE Online feels like a second job, so just do whatever you feel is best for you, right? I want to see below in the comments, what do you guys think about multiboxing in general? Do you like it? Hate it? What's your take on it?